Is it just me, or are you also noticing people out here are busy mistaking liabilities for assets? Unaona kabisa, this is not how things are supposed to be. And maybe this person is not even close enough to you for you to advise them. And these are things that started some time back. And it's sad that even in 2026, people are still maintaining that. Holding on to liabilities, thinking they are assets. Today I'm here to talk about that. Okay? Things that people still believe are assets and they are liabilities. Stay with me. Hi, I'm Miss Muithathi and I talk about personal finance. If it's your first time seeing me, welcome. Don't forget to press the like button, subscribe, and turn on notification bells so that every time I upload a video, you're notified. Okay? And also liking this video and sharing it tells the algorithm to show my video to other people. Well, as I said, I'm talking about liabilities that people confuse and think they are assets. Okay? We want to correct that so that they stop saying they were not informed or misinformed. We are in 2026 and we are decided we are leaving no man behind. Okay? So first of all, you need to understand the difference. I think everyone needs to understand the difference between an asset and a liability. Let's talk about cash flow versus sentiments. You see, real asset, when you have a real asset, it generates or it brings you money. It makes you money. And like when you have a liability. Okay? So those liabilities, let me call them fake assets. They don't generate any income for you. All they do is take money out of your pocket. Okay? Via maintenance, or some certain fees you're supposed to pay. And most times, when it comes to, for example, a car, it depreciates over time. So you need to stop confusing the two. That's a very poor poor type of mindset. You need to change your mindset. They say we unlearn the old ways and learn new things or new ways of doing things. Also when it comes to investing. So, this is also where the poverty trap comes in. Buying liabilities. And there's people out here who will insist for you to buy them. Okay? Because for them, they're in business. They really don't care about your finances. They'll twist their words and make it look like it's an asset that you're getting. But when you sit down and do the math, you just got yourself a liability. So you're always there in the cycle of looking for money to maintain this liability. Always wondering or waiting for it to turn into an asset. And it never does. And if it does, you cannot convert the time that it took to money. So it's still a loss for you. You find yourself still working for money instead of this asset making money for you. No. So we need to style up. Because for example, you see, money locked in a depreciating car is money that could have been used to do something else. This is money you get to do something more constructive. Or that money you use to buy land that is not some random place over there. And you know very well that land is doing nothing for you. It's unproductive land. That's money you could have used in something else. Maybe even stock up your business if you're doing business. Because now that land is just sitting there. It cannot be used, to educate anyone. You're not using it in the stocks market. It's just dead land there, unproductive. Now those are things that are liabilities. Not all land everywhere is an asset. Now, I'll give you 6 examples of liabilities that poor people or an average person mistakes for an asset. Okay? Number 1, the newest car. Why do most people think that a new car is an asset? It's because of pride, ego, culture. Because you find out in many places or culture, in Kenya, when you're seen driving a new car or a big car, now that looks like you've progressed in life. A car is viewed like a status symbol. So you go to, whenever you get money, or you go to whatever extremes to get yourself or to buy yourself a new car. Because according to your culture or where you're coming from, that signals success, wealth, and stability to the community. Okay? That's how people fall in these traps. That's how you realize that your mindset or your mentality is still driven by the old ways. If you're buying car for status, that's you mistaking a liability for an asset. You need to change that. People believe buying a car saves you time and provides freedom. In some cases it's true, in some it's not. Okay? So why is this car a liability? Why is this car a liability, especially a brand new car? You're the one who's removing the seals. You're the one, can you unbox a car? I don't know. It's a brand new. One thing you need to realize is a car starts depreciating the moment you drive it. If it's a brand new car, the moment you drive it off the lot, kwanza these 0 mileage cars, and the way they're expensive, the moment you move it an inch, just know it has depreciated in value. And another thing, a car needs constant maintenance. Okay? Something like a car, it requires money. For you to maintain a car, you need to have money. You need cash flow. Okay? Because there's things like fuel, there's insurance, there's maintenance fee, routine servicing. I can tell you. If I miss some things I came to learn after buying this is my first car. I learned so many things. Some I didn't even know. You learn as you go. Some things they don't tell you. Until ukifika kwa ground, that's when you learn these things. Not forgetting the unexpected repairs. Mara, you're driving, I don't know, you stepped on a nail somewhere, you have a puncture. Something is just wrong. Your car is no longer hooting. Someone hit your car or you hit something while you are reversing. I'm not forgetting, nowadays, every town, everywhere you go, there's parking fees. So tell me how a car is not a car just coolers your money if you're not careful. If you've not thought about those things, think about them. And in Kenya, the cost of spare parts. Also, it really depends with the type of car you're driving or the brand of car that you have. And the mechanics. They're also paid for doing these things for you. And if your car is brand new, they're finding the spare parts for that car to cost you to the nail. Prices for new models will wreck your wallet. So what should you do? Here's what I would advise you, or you should do if you really need a car, if you really want a car. First of all, view a car as this a means of transport. Okay? Means of transport first. Stop looking at it as an investment. So, the moment you start looking at a car as an investment, you've started on the wrong foot. Okay. Second, buy a reliable car. Okay. Go for a second-hand car. Ama your pride won't allow you. Stop going for these brand new vehicles. Don't do that. Unless, of course, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and that's not a problem, of which now then I'm not addressing you. Okay. So go for a second-hand car. It will serve the same purpose, by the way, okay, as that brand new car. It will let nobody lie to you. Okay. Let's say if you need a car for work, maybe Uber, Bolt, or for doing deliveries, then that means you treat that car strictly for business. So it's not for going out to have fun, to do what. Treat that car as a business asset. That way you can be able to calculate the returns. You can be able to calculate its return on investment. Otherwise, if you start using it for, personal stuff, then it changes from being an asset, it becomes a liability. Otherwise, public transport, or if you can be able to walk and use that money to save for something like a house or something that is more of a priority. If you don't really need a car, don't go for it. Number 2, that idle plot of land that you bought someplace, somewhere, God knows where, you're calling it an asset. That land is in some speculative location. Sometimes I've had people who bought land and they can't even remember where it is. That's how bad it gets. That you have to call someone to come and show you where that land is. I'm sure most of you watching this are culprits. Mama. Okay, get it a better. You put money on that piece of land, and if the person who knows where that land is dies, or disappears, or they fly out, or they relocate to a different country, and you lose their contacts, you might lose that piece of land. Now that's the land I'm talking about. Why do most people think that is an asset? I'll tell you why. And this is because in Kenya, land is cultural. Hey, Kenyans and land, they're one. They're like this. The first investment every Kenyan wants when they get some money is to buy a piece of land somewhere. The phrase, I invest in land, I don't know, it sort of makes them feel like they've done something concrete in their lives. And that's why you'll hear it being repeated all over the place. If people in Kenya are talking about being wealthy or any form of wealth, that has to be in place. It's among the other forms of investments. Okay? People in Kenya view land as finite. It's, it has to be. I have to invest in land. And therefore, is valuable. You cannot convince a Kenyan otherwise. And why is that? Because they always believe that it will double the price in the next few years, right? You're convinced. Give it 1-2 years. Kwanza, when you're lied to at some railway station, railway will pass over there, or they're building a highway or something, you're sold. That's enough for you to. Now that's an asset for you. Now, let me tell you why it's a liability if it's not managed. That piece of land that you bought. One, land just sits there as dead capital. Do you agree with me? And if you don't do anything on it, it is dead capital. And it costs you money. For you to acquire or to get that piece of land, it costs you money. And then there's annual land rates for every county. There's that money you have to pay annually, the land rates. You also have to pay security. Otherwise, if this piece of land is someplace far away, in Kenya, it will be sold. Ama, you've not had cases of where there's so many cases in court because people are selling other people's land. So you have to go back to your pockets, fence your land, put up a sign, land not for sale, or even pay a security person. There's always, you have to do something to avoid encroachment. It will cost you money. So that there's that cost and there's fencing costs. These are things people don't think about beforehand. Another problem is if you bought it on loan, not even cash. You went to a circle or to a bank and you took a loan. The interest keeps accruing. And this land, you're not doing anything there. It's unproductive land. But the loan you took, the interest keeps accruing. While your land does nothing. It's not giving you any returns. Because remember, you're waiting for 2-3 years for the land to double its price. What kind of math is that? As you remember that from Mariko. As you say, mother for moru pio. Mother for moru pio. Speculative land that is so far from infrastructure. Iko mbali na any town, any city. Why would you even consider buying land in such places unless you want to do something like farming or build a factory or something? But anyway, I don't know. That's why I'm talking about this. That's why I made this video. Those speculative lands that are far from infrastructure may take you a lot of time before it even gives you any form of return. Before it even appreciates, it might take you decades. How after a year, how much do you think land appreciates? I think even 10% or less. If I'm not wrong, I don't know. I need to find out. It doesn't appreciate like once in a while, yeah. Kidogo, it appreciates with the higher percentage, but not all the time. Okay? And the ones that are appreciating faster, they're extremely expensive. We are not talking about those pieces of land. So when you invest in something like that, there's no returns. It's eating away your potential returns, whether you choose to see it or not. Especially if you compare it to other investments, that land is not an asset. It's a liability. So shine your eye. Okay? Be smart and learn that. Number 3 thing people confuse, or poor people confuse to be assets and their liabilities, are expensive phones and expensive clothes, designer clothes. And here's why they think it's an asset. Because now we live in the world of social media. Okay? I don't know why we believe people we don't even know. Whatever it is they show us on social media now, that's what we want to follow, that's what we want to do. So appearance is mistaken for substance. So we just judge someone based by how they look, what phone they're using. Girls all over the place are obsessed with having the newest, the latest iPhone. And the way that thing is expensive, oh my god. Yet their lifestyle doesn't even equate to that. You have the newest iPhone, but when I see your home, where you're coming from, it's an embarrassment. People need to style up. That's what we call compromised priorities. Go argue with your shadow over there. I'm not here to argue with you. The iPhones, the designer clothes, tools that are used to deceive people so that you can look like you're successful and you're not. That's not an asset. Those are not assets. Those are liabilities. People twist it to make it look like it's an asset because they believe it will help them open doors for success. Ama, you've not heard even online, girls are being told you have to make sure you have the nice dresses, you have a nice iPhone so they can go full men, wealthy men, and so now that's the return on investment. That's the return you expect. People will use you and abuse you and dump you and continue with the life. Why don't you make use of that money better? Like you do better things with that money. But anyway, con artists must find ways to survive anyway. That's how they use such things to, they believe such things will open doors for opportunities for them. That's a poor type of people mindset. You can go and argue with your shadow over there. Now, let me tell you why it's a liability. I'm talking about it because it's a liability. This is because these items have 100% rate ya could depreciate. Okay? The moment you buy these designer clothes, you've started wearing them, or this new iPhone, the moment you start using it, it's just like a brand new car. Inaanza ku depreciate. It starts depreciating. So when you look at it, the same thing, it's almost worth nothing the next year. Just 1 year, a car is even better. They offer no financial returns. Nothing. Unless you're doing these weird businesses like whatever young girls are doing nowadays. They have no return. And the problem is, once you're addicted to this, you'll always be in constant pursuit for the newest thing, for the newest designer clothes, the newest iPhone. And these things will always be there. You'll never build your life, you'll never build anything. There's always going to be a new designer handbag, new designer shoes. There's always going to be. So you wait kidogo, you'll see a new iPhone coming up. And there's not much difference. And what does this do to you? Because now you want the newest thing in town, you'll find yourself even in a cycle of debt, thinking these are assets and they are liabilities. More money out of your pocket. You might be there wondering, then what should you do? This is what you do. Stop going for those most expensive things out there. Especially if you can get something way cheaper, even half the price or quarter the price, and it serves the same purpose. Why go for that expensive iPhone? It doesn't make any sense. Okay? So try and buy functional technology or, clothes. There's nice clothes that are functional. Change the way you think and learn the old ways. Buy gadgets, clothes that are within your means, that you don't have to break your bank to get. If a phone, for example, is required for business, for example, some people need a smartphone for things like photographs, better photos, images for their items, whatever it is that they're selling, or digital marketing. That's different. But still, you don't have to go to the extreme, to the highest to get that. I believe there's always something that works best, average. Go for that. Remember, this is a tool. Just like a car, view your phone as a tool. Okay? Stop looking at it as an asset. Think of it as a tool, the way a hammer is a tool. Pliers is a tool. Use it to generate income until it breaks. So the moment it's not making you any money, that's a liability. Okay? The moment all it does is just remove money from your pocket and just, or it's not even doing anything, that's a liability. You need to change that. And you need to stop confusing personal consumption with investment. Another liability poor people confuse for an asset are these high-risk chamas. This is a fancy name for a pyramid scheme. They are just pyramid schemes. And this is because they are promised quick, exponential returns. And we all know how that sounds seductive. It just, it's music to your ears. Who doesn't want high returns? Everyone wants high returns. And in Kenya, you'll find so many digital lending funds and regulated investments all over the place. I don't know how that is possible. They're popularly known as the S-curves or the get-rich-quick schemes. But who would think of a chama as a get-rich-quick scheme? Because a lot of women believe in those things. And they are spread through WhatsApp groups, even word of mouth sometimes, promising you double return of your money. Like it will double. And people are out here thinking it's money working for them with these incredible rates, incredible returns. In reality, it's just a liability, because these are not assets. That's you gambling with your money. You've chosen to play a very dangerous game with your money. And this is because these games, they pay old members with new members. So when you see an old member being paid, you fall for it. These are Ponzi schemes. And the asset here is the promise that they told you. Tell me where you've heard that the people are investing on promises at their assets. Don't be fooled. This word of mouth says you mtu anakupromise nini. These are the kind of investments that disappear with your money overnight. You wonder what happened. That you say it's a chama and then you guys start fighting because money is no longer available. You're trying to figure out where the money went. The money disappeared all of a sudden out of nowhere. So these chamas are the ones that disappear with your money overnight. Okay? So what should you do in this instance? First thing you should do is accept that when the deal is too good, think twice. Okay? If it sounds too good to be true, then it is. Stop waiting for and learn to listen to your instincts, people. Okay? You need to understand that true investing is slow and boring. So anything that promises you fast returns, I will leave it alone. Okay? True investment is compounding over time, not 1 week, 2 weeks, or a month. Those are lies. And also teach yourself to use regulated authorities to confirm, okay? Like CMA, Capital Markets Authority. That's how you check if these entities are licensed. Teach yourself to do the due diligence. Jitume. Nobody is going to do that for you. Otherwise, you always be making money and other people are benefiting from your money because you're too naive, too lazy to do your homework. So teach yourself that. So you stop falling for these scams. Stop thinking that those are investments. Those are liabilities. Okay? That's poor people mentality. Change that. The fifth thing, and mostly this is in Africa, because now white people no longer believe in these things. We believe that an adult child or some dependent relatives are assets. You know, in Kenya, you've seen even there's families, there's these women or families, they have a last born. They don't push the last born to go out or to push themselves to do better in society because they're expecting this last born to be their pension scheme to take care of them when they're older. Allah, you've not heard of these stories? You see some families, there's always like a last born who's at home. They have mom's password, they drive mom's and dad's car, it's like they are the ones who are saying everything. And it was a master plan because now the plan was this child, this last born child is what? Is an asset to me. In some cases it's the firstborn child who is an asset to the family. And why do you think they think like that? Why do they think that this person is an asset? As I said, in some cultures, some families, because I can't say all of them, some children are seen as social security. If you make it, now you are their security. Even if you don't make it, you'll push yourself in in ways you've never pushed yourself. And the belief, or these things parents keep saying, I raised you, so you have to take care of me. You have to take care of your brothers. I took care of you, take care of the rest. Which is wrong, like in all manner of ways. The belief with some parents is, I raised you, so you're supposed to take care of me at my old age. Who told you that? Remember, this child didn't ask you to give birth to them. It's a choice that they decide. If they want to take care of you, good. If they don't, it's still okay. You need to know how to take care of yourself at your in your old age. That's one of the poorest way or form of thinking that you have an asset. Looking at your child and seeing them as an asset. And it's so sad that in some families in Kenya or in Africa, having a large family is viewed as a safety net. It's not. Okay? It is not. And that's why you find people out here willing to go to whatever extremes to get money because of the burdens they've been, the family has put on their shoulders. Kumbe, they are looking at you as an asset. How do you even enjoy life if you have such burdens over your shoulder? You don't. And you want to know how this is actually a liability? In a financial context, I mean. Well, yes, family is priceless when it comes to, in terms of love. Okay? Family is priceless. But relying on them, when it comes to matters finances, I think that's a dangerous path to be walking on. In Kenya, you see, There's even a quote I saw. Your family is willing to help you. They're just waiting for you to die, and then they'll raise all the amount of money that you've never seen. Okay? So relying on your family members as an asset is a financial risk. Don't do it. Okay? And this is because those children may become unemployed, or they may move abroad. Anything can happen. Or even they might face their own financial struggles. And yet you're there thinking they're an asset. So you refuse to invest in other things, thinking you have children. Overextending yourself to support able-bodied people, adults, can be financially draining. Okay? And it will drain your retirement fund and create dependency rather than retirement. What you should do instead is invest in your children's education and financial literacy. Let your children go to school, but also learn about financial literacy. Learn what, the difference between assets and liabilities. And stop looking at your children as assets and liabilities. Okay? Let them learn, let them go to school, educate them. Let them also learn financial literacy so that they can be able to stand on their own. Okay? So we can cut this chain of having children and expecting them to take care of us. Because children copy their parents. Okay? So if you put your burden on your child, then your child puts their burden on their kids, and their kids, although we have a generation of Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, I don't think they'll put up with this nonsense. But you get me, right? So simultaneously, you as a parent, you as an individual, build your own retirement plan. Okay? Stop relying or expecting other people to come through for you. So build like a pension fund. I've seen people build real estate, something that will take care of them at their old age. Some invest even in stocks, so that you're not a burden to not just your children, even your spouse. We need each other in life. Okay? Invest in those things, so that even if they come through for you, they are not the only plan you have. Sasa? And lastly, something the poor think is an asset and might be a liability is a degree. That certificate that you have. By itself, it's a liability. Okay? And some of the reasons why people think it's an asset is because education is heavily prized in Kenya. Ati someone has gone to university, you finished Form 4, you've gone to university. Yeah, in Kenya, okay, there was a time it used to look like it's such a big deal. But right now, especially at the rate at which there's no employment, these graduates, they're not employed. It's no longer such a big deal. But it used to, okay? And this is because it used to reach extents of which families would sell land to send their children to university to go get that degree. The extremities people will go so that the child can get that degree, or whoever can get that degree. Of course, there's something they're expecting, that once you get that degree, you'll get a very good job, and now money will start coming back home. Because when you get that degree, there's a high chance, not even a high chance, you're guaranteed to get a high ticket job, a well-paying job. You go to university, get a degree, believing the degree is a guaranteed ticket to a high-paying job and upward mobility. This degree can be a liability if not leveraged. Okay? To be honest, the paper by itself, it's worthless. It's just a paper like any other. And as I said, in Kenya today, there's thousands of unemployed graduates. They're all over the place. They're doing weird jobs. Most of them are jobless. So that tells you a lot. So if the degree doesn't lead to income, the time and the money that was spent, it simply becomes sunk cost. Money that just went down the drain. making it a liability, because a liability is something that removes money from your pocket and there's no return. So that degree becomes one. Furthermore, that education, if it was, you took a loan, education debt can cripple you as a young individual. It will cripple your finances the next years. You'll be struggling to pay for that debt. That's how that degree becomes a problem. So here's what you do. Treat education as just a tool to acquire a skill. Okay? Stop looking at it as an asset in itself, not just a certificate. So you have to combine education with something like networking, internships, and entrepreneurship. Because in itself, you're doomed. You'll never go anywhere unless you're very lucky, or you know someone who knows someone. That's what happens in Kenya. The asset in this instance is your ability to solve problems. Okay? And by that, you start generating income for yourself, your human capital. Alright? Not the framed paper on the wall, or in some cases, or most cases, not that picture you've hung in your house with your graduation gown and hat. That's not enough. So, those are the few liabilities that most poor people think they are assets. In case you know of any other that I might have missed out, please share with us with the comment section. Okay? Let me know your thoughts. Let's talk about it on the comment section. I'll try my best to respond to every comment. Okay. Well, that's it for today. I'm Miss Muithathi. I'll see you in my next video.